gentlemen, welcome back. We have the Glen concert band here. This group this year has been playing by themselves for the first time. Normally I throw freshmen together with this group, but this time we had just enough people I could keep them separated, like, you know, Blink 182 always says, or is that Offspring? I could always mix those two up. We were able to give them some more challenging music, so they were playing this year the level that Wind Ensemble was playing at last year. So I threw a lot of stuff at them. They did a fabulous job. They got excellences at both festivals they went to, so please give them a round of applause for that. And so we want to showcase some tunes for you today. So the first one, something old. So if you're familiar with your German composers, this guy's name is Richard Wagner. And Wagner is the godfather to everything that is cinematic. So all these cinematic music that you hear from John Williams and Hans Zimmer and Jurgensen, all these guys all follow this model that Wagner came up with. So he writes in a way that he creates something called a leitmotif. And a leitmotif is a melody that's connected to a person, a place, or sometimes an object. So there's even operas that Wagner wrote where there was a theme every time the sword was picked up by Siegfried. That sword had a theme. So he was the one that established that on stage, and we pay homage to that through through the performance of our music. So he wrote an opera called Lohengrin. I doubt any of you know it unless you're an opera buff or a nerd that you would even know what this tune is, but I bet you lots and lots of money that you will know the melody at the very end. And so I'll explain that melody at the very, very end afterwards. But this opera is about the knight that protects the Holy Grail, and it's like this whole thing where like he marries somebody, but as long as she never asks him what his name is, but of course she asks what his name is, and then all of a sudden he has to leave, and it's like a whole thing. So it's a very interesting opera, but there's a very important melody that comes from this opera, and you can hear it at the very end. But this is what we call the prelude to Act 3. So the opera's in 3 acts, so this is the music you would hear, kind of like what's happening now. You guys are coming back to your seats. This would be the piece you would hear as you're telling the folks to get back to their seats because the opera's going to continue. So this is Lohengrin, prelude to Act 3. Please enjoy. if you ever wondered why, you guys know what that tune is, right? Here Comes the Bride, right? You guys know that tune? So if you ever wondered why that's such a standard in weddings, is because back in the 1800s, everyone wanted to beat the elite, and they wanted to play music. The elites used music from opera. So that is how that tradition came about. So if you ever wondered why that's part of the concert, the music that you play for a wedding, it comes from that. It's from the aristocratic level of people wanting to show off that, ooh, we have music from the opera, and that's just where it comes from. So it happens at the very end, but it comes from the second act. The knight and her name is Elsa, they get married, and that's the music that they use from the wedding. So there you go. See, you learned something new today. You didn't know you were going to walk in here learning something, so there you go. So that's something old, and here's something new, I guess. New-ish, not new, but it's a standard tune. This is called The Peanut Vendor, El Manicero. This is a very famous Latin tune. It's in different countries, use it in different ways. It's just celebrating, the street vendors that sell stuff, like really, really fast. Stan Kenton made it very famous in West Coast jazz back in the 70s, but this is originally a Latin tune, and it's going to feature our percussion section in the back, so please enjoy The Peanut Vendor. before we play our last tune, we do have one little sneaky senior in this ensemble. He joined us as a senior, and I'm glad he learned the error of his ways his first 3 years of high school and he figured it out. He joined us in drumline, winterline last year as a junior, and he's like, let's just dive in. So we do have a senior in concert band, so I do want him to stand up and acknowledge Andy Flores. I guess this is the newer one, but this is called At the Movies with Hans Zimmer. Everyone knows John Williams. He wrote all the Star Wars movies, all the epic movies from the 70s, 80s, and 90s for a lot of different movies, Harry Potter, and like all this stuff. But Hans Zimmer is also another movie composer, and he wrote a lot of different tunes for different movies, so this is kind of a compilation of some of the tunes that he's done. So he wrote music for oh my god, sorry, Superman, there we go. Superman, anything with Christopher Nolan. So Superman, he wrote the music for all the Dark Knight series, and Inception, and Tenet, all that kind of stuff. But in this piece, it's going to feature Superman, called Look to the Stars, Inception, Dream is Collapsing, and then Rise, which is from Dark Knight Rises. So please enjoy At the Movie with Hans Zimmer.